How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout with ApolloCurrency as the topic of this video. This has been a well-requested piece of content that a lot of people have been advocating. I know a lot of people out there wanted to see this video on Apollo, what with Hermes 2.0 on its way. And of course, Apollo has been really roaring lately. I mean, up 15.8% at the time of making this video, which is very noteworthy, in particular with the market being where it is. I'm sure there's plenty of people who are enjoying some of those 15% juicy gains on the cryptocurrency space. So it goes to show you that people who've been holding crypto like this are certainly feeling some sort of way. Apollo is a very interesting sign of mass adoption, and of course it's a very interesting indicator of how the community has a say. I mean, we have to talk about decentralized exchanges, and when we talk about a centralized exchange, it just seems, it gives me a bad taste in my mouth to talk about a centralized exchange. I think the future is going to be decentralized all the way across the board, and this decentralized exchange is definitely going to be playing a big role for anybody who's actually worth their salt in the crypto space. I gotta tell you guys, I'm really happy I got in on the ground floor with ApolloCurrency, and especially with it being the fastest network in the world, and of course things just coming left and right with the different developments involving Apollo. Now in particular with this market, a crypto that's able to outperform dramatically. In particular, it's certainly something that drew my attention, especially when you see stagnation across the board with a lot of the cryptos in the top 100 in particular, for example, and then of course Apollo placing with the top gainers of the day. Definitely a very exciting thing to be paying attention to. On that note, it's really great to see so many people have been waking up and smelling the coffee when it comes to Apollo. That's really been roaring lately. Right now, that's a really impressive movement right here. Of course, I don't expect them to maintain this price, and obviously it's a little overvalued right now, so it's not the best time, at least the way I see it for myself, to accumulate anymore. I was accumulating Apollo fairly early. I've been waiting to make this video about Apollo. What with the decentralized exchange, the 2 seconds, all these different things compiling together, certainly getting a lot of attention from the greater crypto space. And of course the 24-hour, we have 16.2 as listed on digital coin, and of course we have 7 days up nearly 30%. It almost feels like we're in the old days of crypto, but of course you have to bear in mind when it comes to these altcoins, more reward means more risk. Just something to bear in mind while we go through talking about Apollo. But I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to see where Apollo is going to take a lot of these history in the making things that are certainly significant, and designating this as a really interesting crypto that's going to be making some pretty big waves as we see the greater space, especially, like I said, I mean, in this market, I mean, for a crypto to be coming out of the gate with all these different developments, it's certainly going to draw some attention. So it's pretty exciting to see the recent attention that's been given to Apollo in this recent time. A privacy coin which claims to change the game for crypto. The importance of the project gives to privacy is furthered by the mentions of features brought about by the Olympus protocol, such as IP masking and coin shuffling, leads to the claim that within the ever-growing pressures of regulation, Apollo is entirely regulatable. So I mean, that is pretty much sums it up in and of itself. I think it certainly does play into interesting criticism that's certainly thrown the way of a lot of the different privacy cryptos, which are often criticized for their lack thereof when it comes to the realistic IP masking and all these things are, I think, what people look for when it comes to this sort of thing with privacy being concerns. And of course coin shuffling, these are things that are definitely going to be key players in the conversation regarding Apollo, and it's definitely exciting to see people paying attention to this crypto. So there are so many Apollo knots around the globe, and they're pushing hard this real project with a clear mission, a privacy mission, and a coin which seeks top 10. This is at ApolloCurrency, and it's just amazing to see. I mean, people are always talking about asking me what's next, what crypto am I paying attention to, and of course, remember, disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes. Obviously, do your own research when it comes to these things, but Apollo is certainly a standout crypto, in particular with the way that it's been performing. I'm sure there's plenty of people who are Apollo believers who are taking profits right now, who are singing its praises. Currently being in the number 165 position, definitely going to be included in a future video that we're going to be making about the top cryptos that are under a penny, and well under a penny being Apollo. I believe somebody did the math and it would be like $1,000. You could get close to having 1 million of these, which is pretty exciting. If something like this goes to $1, I mean, there'd be plenty of crypto millionaires made from the Apollo currency. But of course, don't let, I mean, obviously in the crypto space, more risk means more reward, and you have to take into consideration all these different things. But certainly exciting nonetheless. Apollo, with its aim to be all in one, it's definitely something that's got me just going through all the different information that I can find. In particular, I'm always trying to be ahead of the game, and essentially with what Apollo is doing, the most fastest cryptocurrencies in the universe, and of course Apollo right up there, ranking among the fastest, and it's pretty hilarious to see now, isn't it? Because all these people are out here trying to talk about speed and all these things, but Apollo up there with 1 to 2 seconds, which is what we need. We need these transactions to be taken. I mean, people don't want to wait. I mean, it's just who would, I mean, in the internet age, it's going to be the fastest that's going to survive, and I think that's pretty much plays into what cryptocurrency is all about. IP masking 2.0 uses encrypted data protocol that hides a user's real-time physical location. This is something that we're always talking about on here. It's a big area of concern, for people who take themselves seriously. It lets you participate in Web 3.0 economy, even in restricted jurisdictions. So definitely does have a big area of people all around the world, and I think people are talking about it, how it's like represents the traditional philosophy of like what cryptocurrency is supposed to be all about, taking privacy and speed and all these things into consideration. To all newbies out there buying crypto, remember to take your coins off of the exchanges. Yeah, I think that's definitely something to you don't want to have your cryptos just sitting on an exchange. And yeah, so I mean, definitely just people have been asking me to make this video about Apollo for so much time now. I just figured that I'd put this out there and let you guys know that I see your comments. I mean, I'm interested in Apollo just as much as anybody else in crypto, and there'll be more updates coming on Apollo as we continue to move forward. It's interesting to see how John McAfee has been basically having his say in the crypto space as well. Definitely interested in seeing him run for office. If in 2020, it's going to be pretty hilarious. A clown car election, if we've ever had one. But yeah, and of course, remember, Apollo is not only strictly a privacy, it's also carries the option for public, which is definitely something to be said in Apollo's favor. Of course, that area of publicity, I mean, the public space is always, I mean, when we're talking about mass adoption and all these different things, it's a necessary, I mean, obviously, the price of Apollo right now is pretty pumped up, I would say. I mean, personally, I'm not going to be buying any at these prices. It's a little expensive. I'm going to be waiting to see. It's probably going to go down below these levels pretty soon. But of course, I mean, we are in the midst of interesting market nonetheless when it comes to the cryptocurrency space. And I thought that I'd just give you guys this little bit of information about what everybody in the crypto space has been talking about. Apollo is definitely making a name for itself as it comes on to the crypto space, and it's definitely a crypto that I'm going to be making more videos on in the future. Obviously, you guys remember, this video is not advice or anything like that. I'm not trying to convince anybody to, I'm just saying if you're interested in checking out a new crypto, Apollo is definitely one that's caught my attention. But all that being said, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this video, found it useful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.